Hey guys, it's Nathan Smith here. I'm with Hayden Allum, and we are the 2019 Australian Board Rescue Champions, and we're just going to give you a quick run through of how our race panned out and our interpretation of key moments throughout the race. So just welcome Hayden to the broadcast.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Smithy. I take great joy in rewatching this race on numerous occasions. So hopefully we can teach you a few things about, I guess, how we do things, especially in such a technical and short race.
Obviously, I'm swimming, Hayden, and I'm on the line here just loosening, trying to stay loose as well. There's a lot of nervous energy, and I know you had this famous phrase to me, just let's have fun, mate. Any background behind that?
I think as we're a little bit older these days, it's important that we just take that into consideration. But what's going through your mind just before we take off?
Just trying to not false start, but I was battling a bit of a hamstring injury, and right over that wave there, I sort of was battling a left hamstring injury. My right leg went over, and I almost nearly jarred myself. And I know I lost about 3 meters, so mate, I was really, really stressed, and the heart rate went from what would have been 150 to 160 with the pre-nerves went up to probably 200. I knew I sort of cost myself a few metres there, and I knew Poole. You can see Matt Poole flying out there, second from the left-hand side. And although I got a relatively okay start on the next to him, which I'm third in there, I knew I'd given away a fair bit of ground. But we're just sort of duck diving under these waves and trying to hit the bottom. I'm still trying to catch up to the ground, and I knew I couldn't really porpoise too much, mate. But back to Hayden on the beach, mate. What was happening when you were watching? What were your thoughts?
Well, just to give credit to Poole, he's one of the quickest starters you'll ever see off the beach. He's very quick, he's very powerful, and I guess if a lot of people don't know this, but Smithy tore his hamstring probably a month before the Aussie titles. So when you've got a torn hamstring and you're going up against one of the fastest and quickest swimmers in the sport, yeah, it's going to be quite a challenge. But like I knew Smithy's swimming speed, and if you watch the tape closely, you'll see how much he gains just before the pickup, and that's what was running through my head. Going, I knew he was going to have a slow start, but I knew he would come home strongly.
And we'd paddled well. We've been paddling well ever since we've done board rescue, and I knew we'd paddled, raced and sort of got through the heats and the quarters and the semis pretty well unscathed. We got a little bit lucky because I know Bevy probably couldn't see Poole as early as what he would have liked to, mate. Knees versus prone. I know you're more of a prone paddler. You seem to get over these waves, mate, unbelievably well. I would imagine when I was taking the big breaths out the back, you would have had a little sneaky look at how Bevy's travelling out through the break.
Well, yeah, it was quite interesting because I knew Poole had a few seconds on you going out just because you gave away that start, and it was really interesting to see Bevy not go, and the fact that I saw your hand, just a glimpse of it, gave me that opportunity to, I guess, go at the same time as him. And when you're paddling against the world champion board paddler, you can't give him any start. So I was super thankful that he actually didn't see Poole's hand go up. And two different boards. We're on your 75 kilo 10-year-old board, and I know Poole and Bevy are on a bigger cracker, a little bit more foam, but look, it's each their own. And as we come into the cans, you can see, Hayden, you're on the white. No, most board rescue swimmers jump on the front. You've got the higher rating. You see we lose a good half a length to 2/3 of a board length behind there. But mate, we always seem to paddle really well with you just driving at the front of the board. Good runner here that you're lifting with. Yeah, this was the clinical moment. Like Smithy was in my ear the whole time talking to me, and he was like, here it comes. You got to angle with the wash, and you would see we angle our board to the right a little bit to go with the swell, which we separate from Poole, and I get very excited going down that bump.
Mate, I tell everyone, don't hang on to the front straps. But you did it well with only the one strap. And I remember jumping right up onto your backside and up as high up onto your back because I knew I couldn't run. So I knew we had to hold that wave all the way through to the beach. And I know the previous year I didn't claim it, and you're giving it to me. So this time I got a little bit excited, eh?
Well, this is if this is the moment where I was trying to keep it collected because the year before I completely lost it out of excitement. And you can see, Smithy, you're hitting me and getting me to celebrate, but it was a luxury, a fortunate luxury that we didn't have to run up the beach against anyone. But
I don't think we would have. I would have been holding you back, unfortunately, and it would have ruined me to be in a sprint finish and not being able to run it at my fastest speed. So, look, we got up there, and look, a couple of old boys from Coogin and North Burleigh there have been around the traps for the last 15 years as well. Really pleasing to see the old boys match it with the opens there. So
and absolute gentlemen, good blokes, and I think they saw the race the same way we did. Do it properly, but have fun.
Yeah, and it doesn't. You don't need the fastest swimmer or the fastest board paddler to perform really well or to win in board rescue. You need two guys or two girls who gel together on the board. It doesn't matter if you get out there second, third or fourth as a swimmer. It doesn't matter if you get second, third or fourth on the board paddle. It's how you paddle home, and the amount of races that we've seen together where people nosedive because they don't have the board skills together coming home really cost a lot of races there for a lot of teams, and unfortunately it may cost you that berth in the final, which everyone wants to be part of the final as well. So as we get into or approach the deep water, I need to account for the distance between me and Poole. I know we're about 3 to 4 metres apart. That's the distance between the boys. You can see he's got quite a big lead, but I never go 100% until I actually sight my can. That's really important. You don't want to go flat out until you know exactly the right direction that you're travelling at, and then you are on the mark for your can. I think I have to come back a little bit, but that was probably me not being able to use my legs too much going out the back. So that's probably one key technical aspect. Swimming out, never go flat out until you actually sight your can. And as I'm approaching the can, it's like when you're in a swimming pool, you're judging your distance to do a tumble turn. I'm looking at the can. I always want to hit the can on my right hand. That's how I feel strong and comfortable. And actually get up and over the top of that can, hug the can right up into my rib cage and underneath my armpits. So to get a nice strong hold, make sure I don't fall off that can, and away Hayden goes.
As you can see, like going through waves, it's super important that you keep your board speed high and popping cleanly and trying not to get the side turbulence. And the key moment is the difference between the roll and the pop. I had to make a decision at that time to roll or pop, and it was such a late call, and the safe option is rolling. And as you can see, I popped out potentially my nose just in front of Bevy. And as I'm going through this deep water, all I was thinking was he's probably going to paddle me down, but if I just compose myself and stay settled, I'd be ready to pick up Smithy and we'll be able to go through. As we come up to the turn, you can see I probably hit it a bit too straight, to be honest, and you see Bevy had a bit more angle. But Smithy and I, we made sure that we're balanced on the board to begin with. So when we started paddling, our board was, I guess, as smooth as it could be, which I think is most important. And sometimes you need to take that second or two to be able to collect yourself.
As we turn in, you're extremely comfortable on that board. I'm trying to position myself just on the edge. You can see most of the swimmers are in a straight line, a couple of metres off, but I actually jump on the back because you've got a faster rating, and we give up a little bit of metres on that board turn, but we know we can paddle the boys down.
Yeah, that's I guess, our most important thing when it comes to paddling a board is that you're in a good position to let the board flow. And as we're coming into the wave zone, you can see that our board is balanced really well, and Smithy's obviously setting the tempo.
Am I the power at the back? The
you
V8?
are definitely. Well, I'm not delivering any power. So obviously we angled well for this wave and were able to get down it, and I was a little bit excited, as you could see, like partnering with one of your best mates.
So as the swimmer gets their arm up on the can and it's up nice and high, the board paddler will leave. Now it's important to note the board paddler If they leave early before their swimmer puts their arm up, it'll be deemed as a disqualification as they left early. As the board paddler approaches the swimming can, the swimmer will be sitting about 1 to 1.5 metres to the right-hand side and about 1 to 1.5 metres deep on the C side of the swimming cans. The board paddler must approach in a clockwise direction, and as they get to the can, they're going to leave about 1 to 1.5 metres and come in on a nice angle to maintain all their speed. Now, as the board paddler sits up and they throw the board up and over as they spin almost a 180-degree turn, the swimmer will actually grab the front strap, generally with their left arm, as it travels over the top of them so they can pull themselves on. And both the swimmer and board paddler must be in contact and both be on the board before they cross the rope that aligns in front of all the swimming cans, and away you go. As we approached the outer bank, we both had a look around, saw this wave, our rating picked up. But you'll notice as we go down the wave, we can't shift back too far. Both of our chests are really high up. Our heads are up really high. We don't have a lot of room to move on the board. So we actually try to manoeuvre our bodies and put all the weight through our hips, not through our chest. And then we come to the wave, jump right up onto the back to try and transfer that momentum forward. The Coogin boys and the North Burleigh boys, nearly all of them are masters. It was fantastic to see, and that goes to show it's all about board control and getting two guys or two women on a board to paddle well together, considering that outer bank to be able to control it, not nosedive, and to finish off really well. Not necessarily always about the fastest swimmer and the fastest board paddler.
Yeah, it's a very fickle race. It's hard to be successful, and I'd like to give a shout out to Jet Kenny and Cooper Williams because they were unfortunate to miss the final, but those two boys are really hammering in the semi, and the swell just didn't go their way. But look, we're proud as punch to go 2 times in a row, and it was, I guess, a bit of a shock to us after this one, considering how damaged your legs were, and the Curragh or the Broadbeach. The Broadbeach swell, which presents any challenge. Yeah,
we knew, and I knew how difficult it is to not only win an Australian title but to defend it, and that was one of my main concerns coming up to Broadbeach with those conditions. It doesn't matter how fast you are, but alley 1 could be the pick of the line, and alley number 8 or 9, you just get dudded. But that's why we keep turning up every single year to give ourselves that opportunity. So it was a bittersweet moment. You were 50-50 whether they actually come up, given my hamstring injury. And I know you're on school camp, and you kept texting me. We stayed in contact as to whether I could race or not. And I battled away through a couple of Masters events and was able to hobble through the prelim rounds. And I remember you seeing me for the first time and you went, mate, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah. So just a backstory. I was in Dubbo at Dubbo Zoo with my school kids, and I kept messaging Smithy going, how you feeling, how you going? And to Smithy's credit, he didn't indicate how bad his leg actually was, and the amount of pain he would have been in running in. I'm very thankful he did it. Obviously it didn't hurt me, but the fact that he was able to do back-to-back races and get up there, you can see us laughing about our success, but it was something that we had to really, I guess, put all our pieces together and make it work.
Yeah, we certainly did. Now the big question is, Hayden, do we try and come back in? I know you'll be there in 2021. I'll be there as a coach. Do we make a commitment? It's for me, it's 50-50 as usual, because the human body. I'll be 40, mate, by then. I'll be 40 years of age to come back and defend. I was pretty keen this year. Started doing some secret training and started to lose a little bit of the weight that I was carrying. So 2021 up at Maroochydore, another special beach, a surf club that's shrouded in a lot of surf life-saving history. Will we be back to represent not only Wanda but obviously New South Wales, but to defend our title or 2 titles?
I would say yes. I've got the age bracket slightly more on my side, but the way I look at it is I like to give the people what they want, which is Nathan Smith in a Wanda cap and racing for an Australian title, because not many people have the ability to race the way you do, and it doesn't get old, Smithy. So hopefully you give the people what they want, and also your teammate, because I don't think I don't think we would have won 2 without you. And if there's a little bit of public support on my side here to bring the big fella back, it would be greatly appreciated.
Well, I guess stay tuned. We'll keep everyone guessing, and stay tuned for probably March or April as to whether I'm getting back in the Poole and whether I'm on the starting line up at Marucci in 2021.
Time will tell.